What are you carrying that's not yours? So this goes through the frame of kind of the emotional labor that we do for other people. A lot of this is fear-based. We create these codependencies with the people around. It could be friends, it could be family members, it could be our parents, but we learn to fulfill these expectations, and it's generally based on the lack of another person. They might have some insecurities or some weaknesses that they expect us to fulfill. And so these things can really carry some heavy burdens to them. A lot of times there's this enmeshment that happens where we can't distinguish our emotions from another person. We just blend in with them, and that's how we learn to stay safe. These codependencies, generally there's both parties are getting something out of it, and it could just be if I'm doing a lot for another person, especially a parent, it could be I fulfill the role of being perceived as like the good one or the good kid or the easy one. We have these roles that we're attached to that we get something out of because that really helps us frame up or decide our value. But in that process, we start to carry all this extra weight that we can't possibly solve because it's not really ours to carry. Generally, the primary emotion we'll feel around here is guilt. If I start to remove myself from that pattern, the other person's left with their own stuff now. And yeah, there could be some resentment. They rely on me to fulfill that role, and now they're holding the bag and they don't know what to do with that. And it might be overwhelming and it might be very painful for them. We feel guilty in that process of, I don't know what to do about this. I want to live my own life, but I feel responsible for this other person. And so the only way that person starts to take the initiative and work on those things is if they have to feel the full weight of them. I'm enabling a lot of patterns in that process that aren't good for either one of us. And things only change when we start to change how we show up and hold the other person accountable for what's theirs. Because we can't carry those burdens forever. We can't solve them either because it's not our problem. We can do our best to guide, we can do our best to support, but we also don't want to get lost in that because that could be really preventing us from moving forward in a way that's better for us. And the cool thing about it is when we break the chains and we start to get our strength back and get clarity on things, now I can start to model different behaviors for that other person. And I'm actually interacting with them on a different level. They get to feel their emotions more, and they're more likely to try and come to solutions from that place. And it really allows them to do the work that they need to do in order to shift the relationship to a healthier place. We can carry it for a while, and sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes people do go through really tough things, and they really do need that support. But if it's an ongoing dynamic that's been going on your whole life, that does create a lot of bitterness and resentment because you're not fully living your life in the process. It actually affects the relationship in a negative way because it's built on this unhealthy foundation. We all feel best when it's balanced and when we're not feeling these burdens and responsibilities for things that other people are capable of doing for themselves, but maybe they refuse to.